Hey honeys, welcome. If you're new here, my name is KKAÖ by KKB and I'm an expert makeup artist and beauty educator. For this tutorial, I'll be doing a flawless full coverage soft glam look using techniques inspired by this beauty influencer. Her name is Uche Natori. If you don't know who she is, she's a UK baddie who does the most flawless, camera ready, glam makeup looks, okay? So if you want to look like you're wearing a filter without actually wearing a filter, you want to keep watching. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing that Uche does is she loves to use the Refi Brow Gel. She loves to comb it through the eyebrow hairs to groom them into place. You want to do this to define the brow hairs so that you can see exactly where you need to fill in later, okay? So later we'll literally only fill in where we have gaps or little sparse areas to keep the brow looking as natural as possible. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hydrate the skin. We're going to prep the skin before we begin. And this is another one of Uche's tips where she is big on hydrating the skin, okay? So you want to hydrate the skin a lot so that the makeup seems to melt into the skin and gives like a very natural, flawless look. This will also help you with full coverage foundation because, you know, without hydration, it might look a bit dry and cakey on the face, okay? All right, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is using the P. Louise 7072 brush. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be using this brush to apply concealer above and below the eyebrows, okay? You're doing this to define the brows more. You don't want anything too light, okay? If anything, you can go a tad bit lighter than your foundation color, but you can stick with your foundation color. That would be good for you, okay? When you apply your concealer below your eyebrows, you want to make sure that you bring the concealer down on your eyelids, right? Because this will act as your eyelid primer. Now, I'm going to be doing eyeshadow now. And to do the eyeshadow, I'm going to be using one of my favorite powder palettes from KKAÖ Beauty. It's called the Artist Essential Powder Palette. And we're going to do a nice, natural, soft brown, soft glam eyeshadow look, okay? And the brush that I'm using right now is from the Jessup 14-piece pink makeup brush set. So I'm going to be using the tapered blending brush. And I'm just going to be using this to pat powder all over the concealer on the eyes to get rid of the wetness so that the eyeshadow will blend easily without blotches, okay? Now I'm going to be using the Morphe M433 Firm Blending Buff Brush, okay? And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting some of that beautiful warm color from the powder palette on the brush, and I'm going to be blending back and forth in the crease to create a nice, beautiful transition color, okay? Next, we're gonna grab a small dense brush, and this one is the crease blender brush from Jessup, from the same Jessup pink brush set, okay? And now we're going to be creating a definition. What do you call it? We're going to be creating dimension. So we're gonna swirl into the dark brown color from the Artist Essential Powder Palette, and we're going to be getting eyeshadow only towards the end of the eye in like a C shape. We're gonna drag the eyeshadow out a bit, you know, to give the eye more of a cat eye lifted look, but you just want to really concentrate the eyeshadow towards the ends of the eyes, okay? Now, to ensure that this dark brown is blended properly, we are going to blend the edges of the dark brown some more using that same Morphe M433 Firm Blending Fluff Brush, okay? Now I'm going to be going in with that same P. Louise 7074 brush to gently pat on some concealer onto the eyelids, you know, acting as a primer again, just to brighten up that area and to define the area, right, for the eyelid eyeshadow that we're going to put on top. Now I'm going to be using this firm eyeshadow brush from that same Jessup pink brush set to pat on this soft light yellow eyeshadow from the Artist Essential Powder Palette. So we just want to pat that onto the eyelid. Now we're going to be using that same crease blending brush, right? Just right there in the crease to help soften out the edges of that eyelid color and make it and create a nice transition onto the eye crease color. Now we're going to be using a makeup wipe to remove the eyeshadow fallout and to sharpen the edges of the eyeshadow. Next, I'm going to be using the KKAÖ Beauty waterproof eyeliner. I love this, especially when I'm going to the beach or the pool and I really just want my eyeliner to be popping, you know? I don't want it to come off. I love it for that. It won't be smudging on you. So to create a beautiful winged eyeliner, I like to ask the client to keep their eyes open, or I keep my eyes open. And then I'm just going to drag the eyeliner from the outer crease onto the eyelid. You want to try to keep this line as thin as possible when bringing it onto the lid. And then when you've completed that, you can fill in where necessary, you know, like below the line, and then have your client close their eyes, and you just want to bring the line to the front of the eye, okay? The next thing we're going to do is sharpen the eyeliner. So we're just going to sharpen the eyeliner using that same pillowy 7074 brush, you know, with the same concealer, and we're just going to clean up right below the eyeliner. Now, another tip from Uche is that she loves to mix her foundation to customize the tone, the texture, and the coverage of the foundation. So for this makeup, I'm mixing the Charlotte Tilbury foundation in shade 12 with the NARS Soft Matte in Tahoe. Okay, so another thing that Uche loves to do is she loves to brush her foundation onto the face using a flat brush first to get full coverage. Then after we've applied the foundation all over the skin, we are going to blend it using the Bdellium Tools 956 Precision Kabuki brush. So literally you just want to pat the foundation into place that's on the face. Do not move it around, okay, because the continuous patting is what's going to bring the foundation to look extremely flawless and full coverage. And this is going to give you a really beautiful airbrush base, like promise you it won't look crazy, okay? Next we're going to go in with the KKAÖ Beauty Sun Sculpt Bronzing Stick in shade Toffee. This is my absolute favorite. Oh my god, I was using it yesterday and I was just like, this thing is so bomb. Basically bronzes and sculpts the face at the same time. Another thing that Uche loves to do is she prefers to use a contour that is on the warm side. So this is perfect if you're using KKAÖ Beauty Sun Sculpt Bronzing Stick, because it will definitely bronze you while sculpting, you understand? And it's also really easy to blend and long wearing, so you have to get that if you don't have it. So the way that I apply this contour is I'm just going to create a C, right? So from the temples of the forehead onto the actual cheek. And after this, you're going to get it on top of the sides of the nose bridge, and you want to create a U. So you're just going to go down the nose bridge and then connect it right across the tip of the nose and go back up, right? So you're going to form a U. And we're going to create another U on the chin just to define the chin area a bit more. Okay, so using the pillowy 7071 brush and the new Artist Essential concealers. Yes, I said concealers. These are from KKAÖ Beauty. They're so good. Doesn't that literally look like cookie butter? If you're interested, you must join the waiting list for these concealers. I'll put the link down below. Okay, these concealers are great because we've been testing different undertones of concealers for different skin tones to make sure that we get the most natural looking, soft but stunning, flawless base. So you're gonna definitely want to get your hands on these. So just go ahead and join the waiting list. Okay, so we're gonna apply concealer under the eyes and at the end of the eye for a brightening, lifted look, and a bit on the chin and right above the brows in the center of the forehead. We are going to go ahead and apply liquid blush. Okay, I love liquid blush these days. I feel like when you really know to use liquid blush, you'll just fall in love. Okay, so we're gonna apply some liquid blush to the highest point of the cheekbone, and I'm just going to put this out there. I love to blend my concealer in the center of the face last because I like when it stays on the face and just settles a bit, because when you go to blend it, you'll get more of a full coverage, flawless finish. Okay, so we're gonna leave the concealer in the center of the face, you know, a bit to blend it later. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is using my favorite little brush from Shein. It's called the Foundation Clip Design Brush, you know, because it kind of looks like a clip or whatever. And I'm just going to literally tap it against the contour region to gently soften it and to blend it out. Now, this is why the way I applied the concealer and the contour on the face is very important. This is called placement. Wherever you place your product, you only want to blend in that area. You don't want to move it too much around, because when you blend just in that area, that is what's going to give the face the definition, the look, the snatched look that you're going for. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So you only want to pat the contour. You just want to pat it exactly where you place the contour. You just want to pat it a bit gently to soften it out. Okay. And this is why I love the KKAÖ Beauty Sun Sculpt Bronzing Stick, because you can see, like, I barely blended it, and look at how it just blended out so nicely on the face. It's so big enough friendly to use. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is using the Bdellium Tools Finger 167 brush, and I'm going to use it to blend the nose highlighting concealer. Right, I'm just gonna blend back and forth onto the highlighting concealer just to soften it down a bit. Right, then I'm gonna go onto the forehead right where we have that concealer, and just tap against it until it is blended out nicely. Then I'm gonna go back in with the Sheen Clip Design foundation brush, just to ensure that the highlighting concealer is blended nicely into the forehead foundation and contour. Now I'm going to be using the shading brush from the Jessup 14-piece makeup set, just to soften the nose contour, just by blending up and down, back and forth on the sides of the nose bridge. Another thing that Uche loves to do is she uses a brush, not a sponge, to blend out her concealers, because I believe she thinks that this is going to lead to more of a full coverage flawless look, and I do agree. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Real Techniques brightening concealer brush to blend the under eye concealer, as well as the Bedelium Tools 167 finger brush to get into those smaller, hard to reach areas right around the liquid blush. Now if you're new to this, please apply your liquid blush onto your face only after you've completed blending out your contour and your highlights. Please do not apply it the way I've applied it, because you might just end up blending it and nothing bad is going to happen. But what happens is your concealer is probably just going to get on top of your blush a bit, and it's just going to make it look it's just gonna make it disappear basically. So you probably want to wait till last, you know, till you have a perfectly blended contour and highlight before you go ahead and apply your blush. Okay, so that'll be easier for you. Now the next thing I'm gonna do here is blend out that liquid blush using the Morphe R46 brush. Now here is when I'm going to go in with a tad bit lighter concealer to the front of the eyes to brighten up the face, okay? And you want to blend it using a makeup sponge this time, a damp makeup sponge. You just want to pat it from the front of the under eye to the end of the under eye for this nice lifted brightening effect. But if you don't know how to get your sponge to be dampened, what you have to do is run your beauty blender sponge or your makeup sponge underwater until it is actually wet, and then you want to stop the water, squeeze out excess water from the sponge, and there you have it. That will be the perfect sponge to blend out your concealer with. Okay, now I'm gonna pat some One Size Beauty translucent powder under the eyes and down the nose bridge, and I'm gonna get some on the chin as well. Just gonna be doing a little baking and setting here. You don't want to pat it too much onto the face because it'll make it dry. You just want to kind of place the setting powder in these regions. Okay, then for the rest of the center of the face, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques makeup setting brush, and I'm just gonna set the powder, set the concealers around the mouth, right on the forehead, all these areas in the center of the face. You want that whole center of the face to be set and to be matte. Okay, now another tip here. You see that I put a whole bunch of setting powder under the eyes to bake. That's beautiful. However, please ensure that you brush away any loose powder that is coming onto the cheek. You only want that setting powder to be under the eyes, that excess setting powder for baking to be under the eyes, because once you leave it onto the cheek and start blending to set your contour, it's going to look blotchy. Okay, so just make sure that your setting powder is only under your eyes for your baking. Okay, so yeah, now we move on to setting the contour using my fave, the Artist Essential Powder Palette, right? And I'm going to be using this warm brown color here. I love this color. It's just really just gives the nicest warm glow to the face while setting the makeup. So definitely try that if you're similar to her skin tone or my skin tone. Now I'm going to be setting under the cheekbone because I'm going for a matte long-lasting makeup look, because I am doing this makeup in Jamaica on this beautiful model here. Okay, so now that we've set the face, we are going to go in and apply some Sephora eyeliner. I love Sephora eyeliners because they're long wearing and literally waterproof, they don't move. So I'm going to be using a brown one because I'm going for a soft look, because she's of a light brown complexion. And then I'm just going to be blending it out using a smudging brush, pencil brush, and then I'm going to be setting that eyeliner with brown powder from the Artist Essential Powder Palette. Okay, this is just going to create a sultry look. I love that. And I also placed the napkin under the eyes to help to catch any fallout so the makeup doesn't look messy. Now it's time to do the lips. I absolutely love this lip combo. I hope you love it too. So I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cool Brown Lip Liner, and I have her seal her lips so that the skin of the lips will stretch and it'll be easy to apply the lip liner. So I'm also going to be overlining her top lip as well. So that means I'm going to apply the lip liner slightly above her natural lip line. And I'm going to be using 3 of my favorite, actually these are my 3 favorite lip glosses from KKAÖ Beauty. I'm using the first one, which is like a nudie pink. It's called Barbie Dolly, right? So I'm just using this as my base nude pink lip gloss. Then in the center, I'm going to be using this beige pink. It's called KKAÖ Queen. Then I'm going to be topping up the lips using the KKAÖ, what is this one called? The Sweet Babe lip gloss. It's like a shimmery, like see-through light pink. Love that. Definitely try that. So pretty. Next thing I'm gonna do is fill in the brows using the KKAÖ Beauty Eyebrow Perfector pencil in dark brown. And as you can see, I really like these eyebrows. Are not my typical eyebrows because I tend to fill out the brows a bit to not make them look so thin. But for this look, I don't know, it's 2024. Like, I'm open to trying new things. Like, I've been loving this whole thin brow thing that Cardi B's been doing, so I thought, let me try this new thin brow thing. So I'm just only filling in a tad bit in the center of the brow, nothing crazy, because I'm going for this natural thinner brow look, okay? Now I'm going to go in with blush, my favorite, the KKAÖ Beauty Bar Blush Palette. And the shade I'm using is the Sweet Girl K. And I'm going to be showing you my new favorite blush placement technique. I call it the T technique because you're literally going to apply your blush in the form of a T, okay? So I'm going to be using the Sephora 98 brush to blend the blush side to side, right under the ends of the eyes, and then up and down, forming a T shape, okay? And look at that, it creates the most lifted, beautiful, like woken up like doll look. Isn't it like so pretty? So try that one, let me know what you think. Then I'm going to be using the shade Snatched Honey from the same bar blush palette, okay? And I'm going to be using this to bronze the cheek and the forehead, and this is just going to give it a beautiful bronzed glow. And the brush I'm using is the contour brush from the Jessup 14 makeup brush set, okay? So now I'm going to be gently brushing off the setting powder. Then now you have that, we're going to spray the face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, my favorite, because it really does melt the powders onto the face and make the makeup look more natural, you know, less matte, more of a natural skin-like finish. But then I have to dry it with a fan to make sure the makeup is set into place. Then I'm going to be applying my new favorite mascara. Like, this is a mascara I grabbed for if I don't want to use a waterproof mascara. This is called the Superfan Mascara from Smashbox, and it literally is so great because it's super easy to apply on the bottom lashes. It has so much volume, adds so much volume to the lashes, and it is long wearing, but as I said, super easy to wash off. And that brings us to our final look. If you love this look, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, feel free to join the waiting list down below if you're interested in one-on-one online makeup training and mentorship with me. And don't forget to comment if you have any questions or other video requests. Love you. See you soon. Bye.